So this video is going to be for people who have kinesthetic children, so maybe children that are either jumping up and down in the seat, children that won't sit in a seat, children that are moving around. So this is for you. First of all, before a session, I would be thinking, okay, let's call him Bob. In Bob's life, are there times when he is calmer? He's not jumping around, he's not running. It might be that he's doing like a really purposeful activity, like he's like threading some beads, or he's like playing with some Lego, but he's really calm. It might be that there's a calming stim that Bob has, like he's feeling a blanket and his face is quite kind of expressionless during that time. Well, I sure as hell I'm going to use that in the session to help him keep calm. You can totally do a session whilst your child is doing some sort of activity or doing a calming stim. A lot of times people think, oh, we can't have the beads while he's doing a lesson. You definitely can. The beads are your lifeline. You need them.
Unless they become excitatory.
Yes, be careful.
Yeah, and excitatory is where you've got emotion and expression.
But just have a think about your environment and your child in day-to-day life. Are there times when they're more calm? It might even be that you recognise, Bob's actually really calm after he's gone for a walk. I'm going to go for a walk and then we're going to come back and do a session.
Yeah. You want to give yourself the best chance of success, so you're not going to end up having a battle with your child to get them to sit at the table. So, in my son's case with Chris, we did used to do lots of exercise. Do you remember, Alex? We used to have him bouncing on the ball. And, it wasn't that going out for a walk, but even in his room, we'd bounce on the exercise ball, we'd jump up and down.
You get him to the stage where he was like out of breath.
He had to sit down. And that was the time that we'd sit him down. Also, I always had a big bowl of veg snacks for him, because we knew that he would sit and pick and eat those snacks, and he would stay seated.
Sure.
So you do whatever you have to do to help yourself.
And it's important to point out there, a lot of people think when food's on the table it's some sort of, reinforced or reward. It wasn't, he was just picking it up as he pleased. Yeah. And nobody was saying, oh yes, you got that right, have some cucumber. Next thing you need to think about is your environment. Obviously, with a kinesthetic person, this would be like a nightmare situation.
Because I can just get up and run around.
Often, people that are more kinesthetically global feel like they're a molecule. Like Somi describes this so well in her books. Yeah. They feel like they're a molecule in space, and as soon as there's some space, they have to finish. So you'd always want to choose like the smallest room in your house, so that your child didn't even feel the need to kind of fill that space. Choose the smallest part of the room, and then it's quite hard to show you here because we've kind of fixed the camera to like this chair, but like let's say like ideally like a wall would be here, wall would be here, so Sue would be in the corner, and the table would be here. Now that would be if you could kind of get your child to the table and then they stay. Some children will not stay at a table, and you'll need to think about other options. It might be that a really comfy seat helps them sink in, and then they can relax. So you're absolutely fine to do a session on a sofa, even if you need to do the first few sessions while your child's like lying down on a sofa. You're going to have an easier time with them lying down than having this fight back and forth here. So choose kind of like a situation which is going to be easy for you to kind of start off in. Then you'll have to slowly think about how to start improving your child's tolerance. That's one of the 4 goals in RPM. So at the start, it might be that your goal is, right, I'm just going to stay here for a minute. I'm going to try and just do a minute of session. I might only get to do 2 things, but that's what my goal is today.
Yeah, and a good idea for working on that is to have the visual timer as well,
yes.
So that the child can see exactly what is being expected of them. It's very clear.
And I really do understand this person's having a hard time in the body here. It's not that they're being little rascal. Like it does feel really hard for a lot of kinesthetic people to kind of stay still in one place. It feels really, really hard. As easy as it feels to me to sit down, it feels just as natural for them to kind of be moving around and experiencing the kind of the world. And also I think attitude is so important with people that move around, because it can be very easy to become quite frazzled by the situation, like, oh my gosh, this is a nightmare. But you just have to kind of embrace the situation with a sense of humour, like, oh, we up again? Okay. Oh yeah, you sit there, that's a good spot. Yeah, I'm going to come to you, yeah. So what are we talking about?
But so look, you know, you're not just sitting there if the child is moving around and expecting the child to come back to you to do the lesson, you know. I mean, that's just not the way it goes. You're the teacher.
Yes.
It's your responsibility to work with the child, you know, however and wherever they may be, which might be under the table, it might be on the floor, it might be whatever. So you're going to have to adapt your style, and it might be that you've got a clipboard with you.
Clipboards are absolutely necessary for kinesthetic people. That way you can kind of write things down as you're walking around, show it to them.
Yeah.
It's a great place for you to kind of do your choices. And then you get a little bit creative. So once you've written something down, and then let's say I've got somebody that it's just really going to be difficult for me to place as a choice, so I'm going to hold them up. So then I'd maybe put these in between my legs. I'd have the choices like this. Which one? Oh yeah. Then I'd kind of get my tape. And do you know what? Interesting, like kinesthetic people, sometimes like you moving around with them is actually really engaging for their kinesthetic channel too. So actually, like you feel like, oh God, this isn't how learning should look. Actually for that child, like you're doing really well, you're moving around and you're engaging in that kinesthetic channel more. So actually you're doing well. Very slowly, obviously you would want to work on maybe sitting in a spot for a bit longer. Yeah. But at the start though, just, you know, if you need to follow them, do, and just kind of play around with some of the things that we've talked about.
Yeah, and if it is that it's, you know, let's just say that you know, it's a younger child, and you know, and you have had difficulty getting to the table, then, you know, but get smart. Think about ways that you can get the child back to the table if you need to, you know. So I don't know, if you're doing something where you've talked about, I don't know, the moon. Oh, come on, let's go and draw a moon together as part. But you know what? It's going to be easier for us to draw it at the table. Here, come on.
Over here.
So get them back to the table to do a little bit of a sensory activity, and then you can carry on with your session.
Very slowly you want to feel like you're a bit more in charge of the situation. So for example, if I was in a session and every now and again the person was standing up and wanting to get out, I'd be thinking, okay, I need to work out a way to maybe give the person what they need, and for us to work on this in a bit more of a structured way, because at the moment every now and again they're just getting up. So I might say, it might be, let's say Sue's just jumped up. Oh, I wonder how long you're going to go now. I bet you can manage 4 minutes this time. Come on, we can do this. That's it. Have a good jump. That's it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, yeah, that's it. All right, we're going to try and stay here for 4 minutes. Look at that clock. I've said it again. Okay. Ready? And then as soon as like it was getting to 3 minutes, oh, you're doing so good. Look at the clock. You're doing so good. Try. And I'd be working like that. 4 minutes might be too long for some people. So I might say, oh, you know, you lasted 2 questions last time. I bet you can do 3 this time. And if the person did get up, I wouldn't say, you were supposed to last for 3. I'd just say, oh, I bet you're going to do it next time. Nearly there, eh? You want to make the person feel good. And the last thing you want the person to feel is that like RPM is this kind of method that's stopping them do something. If you come across in this kind of more easygoing kind of way, the person will be kind of easier with the process too. Yeah. But I do want to say though, you know, I really do understand that it will be more challenging if you've got a mover. So don't feel like you're alone. Like if you have any questions, please leave them below. And we really want to help you, because so many kinesthetic children and students can really improve, and they can build their tolerance, and they can do RPM. So hold in there.
Don't compare yourself or compare your child to some of the other children that you might see who are sitting beautifully, pointing away, and they don't present any challenges. Those children are doing really well, but they have generalised kinesthetic systems, so they're able to sit and pay attention like that.
If your child had a generalised kinesthetic kind of channel, then they'd be sitting there too. It's just as simple as that. But you can help your child generalise, but just slowly though through building the tolerance. So hold in there.
Oh, God.